guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you guys some very easy low carb and low calorie recipes that has helped me during the times where I've been feeling peckish during my weight loss journey. So let's get straight into it. I know everyone loves a good bruschetta, but the bread can be obviously, there's a lot of carbs in it. So I found a new way to do this. Get some big mushrooms like this. I forget what they're called. Peel them if you want and then cut off the stalk so that it's flat, so it's easy to put the filling on top and it not go everywhere. Now I'm just going to brush it with some extra virgin olive oil just to make sure that it does cook right through. Not too much, just a little bit. And now if you want, you can add some garlic salt or any kind of seasoning or spices that you want. If you don't have an air fryer, don't worry, you can totally make this in the oven. I'm going to put this on 180 degrees Celsius for 10 minutes. 10 minutes is the perfect amount of time just so that it's not too overcooked and not undercooked. Now we're just going to prepare the filling. Yum. Get some cherry tomatoes and cut them in quarters or however you want it. I just like it to be small just so that you get like a really good mouthful of everything and not just a mouthful of like tomato. Okay, so once all those beautiful cherry tomatoes are chopped up, I like to add some onion in. So I'm only going to use a quarter of a red onion. Red onion has a beautiful flavor. It's not too strong. So what I do is I really thinly slice them up. I don't want them chunky because I don't like that really strong oniony flavor. And I'll just put all those inside with the cherry tomatoes, just like that. Give them a good mix with your hands. And I'm going to add some basil. Obviously, basil is a must in bruschetta. So just rolling that up and really finely chopping those up too. So once you've added that beautiful basil and given it a good mix, I'm going to go in and add some feta cheese. This is actually plant-based feta cheese, which is just as good as normal feta cheese. And I'm just going to put in about half a teaspoon of Himalayan pink salt, giving that a good mix again. And now to just check on the mushrooms, this looks perfect. Once they're out, just wait about a minute till they cool off a little bit and put them on a plate and fill them up with that lovely mixture that you just made. And definitely don't be afraid to be generous, like pile it up, because trust me, you're gonna wish you did if you didn't. If you want, you can go ahead and add some cracked black pepper on top, and then I glaze them up with Italian balsamic glaze. It adds that beautiful, delicious hint of sweetness, and it just makes it taste exactly like a bruschetta. I don't even say that lightly. Then I garnish with some basil leaves, and just look at that. I'm not even joking, it's delicious. Okay, now I'm going to show you guys this salad that I randomly whipped up one day, and it actually ended up tasting so good. So get some mushrooms and peel them if you want, and then quarter them. I quarter them just so it's easy to eat, it's not too big. And then I get some cauliflower and really thinly slice them. Again, just so that it's not too big to fit in your mouth. That sounded so wrong. And then I get a couple of cloves of garlic and some chili, and I slice the chili up nice and thinly as well. You don't want it too big because you don't want that really intense heat from it. I mean, unless you do like it like that. Then I put some olive oil in a pan and I fry up the chilies first just so that the heat dies down just a little bit so it doesn't overpower the taste of the salad. Then I add the ingredient that takes the longest to to cook, and that is the cauliflower. And I stir that up for about 30 seconds to a minute before adding my garlic. I add the garlic sort of in the middle just so that I get that real good flavor of garlic. Sometimes I feel like if you fry the garlic up too quickly, the flavor sort of it becomes very subtle, and I like that real good hit of garlic. Then lastly, I add my mushrooms, and I add this last because I don't want too much of the water to come out, and I like my mushrooms half cooked. Then I add in some spices, black pepper, paprika, salt, whatever you want to, make it taste good. Literally add whatever you want and give that a good toss, and add in a little bit more of olive oil so it's not too dry and it cooks really well. Stir it a couple more times until it's pretty much cooked. Now I'm going to add in beetroot. I love beetroot for that sweetness. It's just, it's so delicious, and I love the texture as well. So I thinly slice my beetroot. I'm only going to put maybe even just less than half of a beetroot. And then I add that in with some beautiful Thai dressing. This one is a vinaigrette, and I find that it goes really, really well with this salad. But you can put whatever dressing that you want. Look at those beautiful colors. It is so delicious. Okay, now this one is the easiest recipe out of all of them. It's just a simple cucumber salad if you're just feeling a little peckish and want something nice and fresh to eat. So I'm just cutting the cucumber in quarters just so it's easy to eat, and then placing that in a bowl with a good squeeze of lemon. Lemon juice is so important in this recipe. Then just adding some pink Himalayan salt to taste. And putting in just a tiny bit of chili. You can totally skip this step if you want, but I really love chili. So definitely adding some chili into my salad. And then add some ground black pepper, not cracked. Sometimes I find cracked becomes a little bit too harsh with this salad, but I mean, if you're a pepper lover, then go ahead and do that and enjoy. This is so easy, it takes less than 5 minutes to make. Now this one is one of my favorites because I love asparagus. So just cut up your asparagus and then half them. I half them so the flavors can really marinate on them. I find sometimes when you just cut them just normally, it doesn't really absorb all the flavor. So I like to do this. You totally don't have to. Now I'm just going to brush some olive oil onto it just so that when I do add the spices and seasoning, it really does stick to it. You can add whatever seasoning you want, just make sure it's all massaged in. So I'm putting in some garlic salt, pepper, and I just massage all that in really, really well. Then I put the asparagus into my air fryer, but you can just put this in the oven like I said before. You don't have to have an air fryer. Then I just half a clove of garlic and put that in. So while it's cooking, the fragrance from the garlic will also go into the asparagus. I put that in for 5 minutes. So while that's cooking, I'll slice up some beetroot. You can probably tell that I really, really love beetroot. So really thinly slice them like that. What I like to do also is put some feta cheese in this as well. So this is my plant-based feta cheese, and I'm just going to break that, crumble that up, and put some tahini in some olive oil. When you put that in the olive oil, it actually becomes a lot more runnier, which is how I like it. I literally only put like half a teaspoon of olive oil, maybe even less than that. My asparagus are ready. Just put them in a nice bowl so it looks nice and fancy. And then I add in my beetroot and my feta cheese. Then I give that a little bit of a toss. Then I add in that beautiful dressing. I only put a little bit because tahini is actually so strong. So I just like a little hint of it. You can add more if you want. Then I top that off with a really good amount of lemon, which gives it that nice sourness. And ta-da! Once again, look at those beautiful colors. It is just divine. Next recipe that I'm going to show you guys is a cabbage wrap. So firstly, I'm going to thinly slice some purple cabbage like that, like real thin. This is going to be another very colorful recipe. And then I cut some carrot, really thinly sliced them again, because it's going to go in a wrap. You don't want them to be too thick to get like a really big crunchy piece of vegetable. It's just not very pleasant. Here I'm just doing some capsicum as well, some red and green capsicum, and again very thinly slice those. Now, of course, add some chili. I'm only adding a very few amounts of slices. And then the fun part, so grab your cabbage and break off a leaf or two. It's okay if it doesn't come off as like a one whole piece. Mine came off in 2 different pieces, but I'm going to show you why it's okay, because it's going to end up like molding together like that, so it's fine. So I'm gonna put some water in my fry pan, just a little bit, like maybe 1/4 of a glass. Then I'm gonna pop my cabbage leaves inside, and pretty much we're gonna steam it for like 3 minutes. So let that steam, and then maybe halfway through just turn them over and steam for another 1.5 minutes. Now it should kind of look like this, like very soft and wilted almost, like really floppy. And this is going to make it very easy to wrap. I'm just putting it on some paper towels and just really like pressing down to get all that water out, because nobody wants watery cabbage. No, thank you. Remember earlier I was saying it's okay if your cabbage leaves come out in 2 pieces. It's because once they're wilted, you can assemble them very easily. Now I just go ahead and put all my veggies in. I'm going to add some tofu as well, because I don't eat meat. I obviously don't add chicken or fish or anything like that, but you can totally add whatever you want. I'm going to put in some garlic salt and just a drop of soy sauce, and look how easy it is to wrap that cabbage. It just folds away so easily. And that's it. I'm done. It's beautiful and it satisfies that craving, that salty craving. So this next recipe is going to be a rice paper roll. I know that rice paper does have more carbs than if you were to use cabbage, for example, but it is the healthier option than if you were to choose a wrap made from bread. So first thing I'm going to do is get some tofu. Make sure it's the soft kind of tofu so it's easy to mash up. Mash it up till it looks like scrambled eggs. Then add whatever seasoning you want. I put in some soy sauce just to give it that extra flavor, and then just give it a good mix. And then I added some paprika, but I accidentally put too much. But I mean, I love paprika, so it's all good. Then I'm just going to get some water in my fry pan and put a sheet of rice paper and just wait till it's kind of soft so that it's ready to be assembled. So your rice paper should kind of look like this, soft and, you know, floppy. I need to choose a better word than saying floppy, like, just does not sound right. Now it's ready to be assembled, so I just add in all my filling, whatever filling you want. I like to make it look really colorful, so it's really fun to eat. Right at the end I add my tofu and sort of mold it together, so it's going to be like really easy to roll and it's not going to be messy. So I'm just going to roll it real good to make sure none of it falls out. And once it's all done, that's it. You're ready to eat. You can choose whatever dipping sauce you want. I find chili oil goes really well with Vietnamese rice paper rolls. Now you are ready to enjoy it. It is honestly the perfect light little snack. Now we're on to my absolute favorite recipe out of this whole video, zucchini fries. So, you know, I had a zucchini that was kind of going off in my fridge, so I decided to make these fries. Just cut them up in strips, just like fries look, and put them in a bowl and season the F out of them. Onion powder, paprika, garlic salt, herbs, salt, black pepper, olive oil, whatever you want. I use the olive oil just to make sure that all the spices actually stick together, and then I use my fingers to massage it all through to make sure each zucchini is evenly coated. You can just tell by looking at them that they're going to be so delicious with all that spice. Now I'm just going to put them in my air fryer for 5 minutes, but again, you can use your oven if you do not have an air fryer. 5 minutes later, you have these amazing zucchini fries. You can use some sweet chili sauce or some ketchup as your dipping sauce, and I guarantee you're gonna fall in love. Last but not least, guys, I'm going to show you how to make a stuffed capsicum with cauliflower fried rice. Well, technically not fried because I'm not going to be using any oil in the cauliflower. So just grab a couple of heads of cauliflower and chop them up really finely to kind of make it look like rice. You can grate it if you want. I prefer not to because I find grating it can become a bit too fine. So I just grab my knife and chop away. It should look kind of like this. Now, just to a fry pan, I'm going to add a little bit of water and put in those cauliflower bits inside, and we're kind of going to steam them, so the texture of it is kind of going to feel like rice. So I'm going to stir it for a couple of seconds, and while that's cooking, I'm going to cut about half a capsicum, put some olive oil and put it in my air fryer for 5 minutes. You can also season your capsicum if you want. So back to the cauliflower rice, I'm going to add in a clove of garlic just to give it that beautiful garlicky taste that is absolutely my weakness. I'm just going to stir that in really well, and then go ahead and add some cracked black pepper. Now just put in whatever vegetables you want. I mean, if you want, you can add tofu, eggs, if you eat eggs, you know, whatever. If you eat meat, totally, you can add that in. And then I add in about 2 to 3 tablespoons of soy sauce, which gives it that really like fried rice tasting kind of thing. Then I go ahead and add some paprika for a good kick. Now this is, oh my god, amazing. Some black bean sauce. Oh my god, so good. Now I'm going to let that simmer in for about 3 minutes and occasionally stir if you need to. And take out that beautiful capsicum and assemble it all together. I really hope that you enjoyed this video, guys. Let me know if you do end up trying out some recipes, and I can guarantee you are going to love them. I'll catch you next week. Take care. Bye.